Everyone's talking about Nvidia AI, Google AI, and now Qualcomm says they're doing AI too. But the stock reaction, completely different. Today, I'm going to explain exactly why, using just one single concept. And if you're someone who looks at NVDA and thinks it's just too expensive, so maybe QCOM is the smarter, cheaper way to ride the AI wave. Please watch this video all the way through, because by the end, you'll know whether Qualcomm is actually an AI stock or whether you're buying something completely different than what you think you're buying. Let's get straight into it. Wall Street analysts have been quietly repositioning on Qualcomm over the last few months, and the message they're sending is very specific. Qualcomm is betting everything on AI, but not the AI you're thinking of. Not the data center AI, not the training AI, not the giant GPU clusters that made Nvidia a $4 trillion company. Qualcomm is betting on something called Edge AI. And once you understand that one concept, everything about this stock, the price action, the valuation, the upside, the risk, suddenly makes complete sense. So let me break this down for you. When most people hear AI stock, they immediately picture Nvidia. Massive H100 chips, data centers the size of football fields, Microsoft, Meta, Google spending hundreds of billions of dollars on infrastructure. That's called cloud AI, or training AI. The AI lives in a giant server somewhere, and your phone just sends a question to that server and waits for an answer. That's how ChatGPT works today. That's the market Nvidia owns, with somewhere around 80 to 90% market share, depending on which analyst you trust. Now here's the thing. Qualcomm cannot compete in that market. Let me say that again clearly. Qualcomm does not make data center training GPUs. They are not trying to beat Nvidia at Nvidia's game. And this is exactly why so many retail investors get confused. They buy QCOM expecting it to move like NVDA, and then they get disappointed when it doesn't. But Qualcomm is playing a completely different game. And according to multiple Wall Street reports, this different game could be worth several $100 billion by 2030. That game is Edge AI. Edge AI means the AI runs directly on your device. On your phone, on your laptop, in your car, in your earbuds, in your smart glasses. The AI does not send anything to a server. It processes everything locally, on the chip itself. And why does this matter? 3 reasons. First, it's faster. No waiting for the cloud. Second, it's private. Your data never leaves your device. Third, it's cheaper. No cloud computing fees. Apple already announced this strategy with Apple Intelligence. Google is doing it with Gemini Nano. And Qualcomm? Qualcomm makes the chip that runs Android phones, and they have been quietly building the most powerful mobile AI chip on the market. That chip is called the Snapdragon 8 Elite. And according to industry benchmarks, it can run large language models with up to 13 billion parameters directly on your phone. No internet required. That is a massive technical achievement. Samsung's Galaxy S25 series uses it. Xiaomi uses it. OnePlus uses it. Honor uses it. Essentially, every premium Android phone that is not made by Apple runs on a Qualcomm chip with AI built in. Now, let's talk numbers, because this is where it gets interesting. Qualcomm's current market cap is sitting around $170 billion. Their forward PE ratio is around 14 to 15. Compare that to Nvidia's forward PE of roughly 30 to 35, and AMD's forward PE of over 30. In other words, Qualcomm is trading at less than half the valuation of its AI chip peers. Wall Street is essentially pricing Qualcomm as if it were still just a smartphone modem company from 2019. But here is what the market may be missing. Qualcomm has 3 explosive growth verticals beyond smartphones. Let me walk you through each one with specific numbers. First, automotive. Qualcomm's automotive business grew over 60% year-over-year in their most recent quarter. Their design win pipeline is now valued at over $45 billion. BMW, Mercedes, General Motors, Ferrari, Hyundai, Li Auto. They are all using Qualcomm's Snapdragon Ride platform for autonomous driving and in-cabin AI. Management has guided automotive revenue to reach $8 billion annually by 2029. That's roughly 5x growth from where it is today. Second, PC and laptops. Qualcomm launched the Snapdragon X Elite chip for Windows laptops, and Microsoft made Qualcomm the centerpiece of the entire Copilot Plus PC initiative. Surface laptops, Dell XPS, HP, Lenovo, Asus, all launching ARM-based Windows PCs powered by Qualcomm. Analysts at Bernstein estimate Qualcomm could capture 12 to 20% of the Windows laptop market by 2028. That's a market worth over $200 billion. Even a small slice is meaningful for a company this size. Third, IoT and XR. This includes smart glasses, AR headsets, industrial sensors, robotics. Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses, powered by Qualcomm. Samsung's upcoming XR headset with Google, powered by Qualcomm. Every time someone wears AI on their face, Qualcomm gets paid. So when you add it all up, smartphones with AI, cars with AI, laptops with AI, glasses with AI, Qualcomm is essentially the chip company for every AI device that is not a data center server. That is the bet. That is the entire thesis. Now, let me be honest about the risks, because I want you to make an informed decision. Risk number 1, Apple. Apple is Qualcomm's largest single customer for modem chips, and Apple is actively developing its own modem to replace Qualcomm by 2027. This is a known headwind, and analysts estimate it could remove around $4 to $5 billion in annual revenue. Qualcomm's management has openly said they are planning for this, and the growth from automotive, PC, and IoT is designed to more than offset this loss. But it is a real risk, and the transition will create volatility. Risk number 2, China exposure. Roughly 40% of Qualcomm's revenue comes from Chinese smartphone makers. If US-China tensions escalate further, or if Huawei continues to gain back market share with their own high-silicon chips, that is a direct hit to Qualcomm. Risk number 3, the edge AI thesis itself. If consumers don't actually care about on-device AI, if they're happy with cloud-based ChatGPT and Gemini, then the entire premium that Qualcomm is trying to build collapses. This is the philosophical question every QCOM investor has to answer for themselves. But here is why I think the edge AI thesis is real. Privacy is becoming a regulatory issue, not just a consumer preference. The European Union, India, and increasingly the United States are all moving toward stricter data laws. When that happens, on-device AI is not optional. It becomes mandatory for certain use cases. Healthcare AI on your phone has to be on-device. Financial AI on your phone has to be on-device. Enterprise AI on your work laptop increasingly has to be on-device. This regulatory tailwind is something Wall Street is not fully pricing in yet. So where does this leave us? Multiple analysts have put price targets on Qualcomm between $200 and $245, which implies meaningful upside from current levels. Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, and Bernstein have all upgraded their long-term view on the company specifically because of the edge AI and automotive story. The dividend yield is over 2%. Free cash flow is robust. Buybacks are aggressive. This is not a hyper-growth name. It's a quietly compounding AI infrastructure name trading at a value multiple. Let me bring this back to where we started. If you are in your late 20s or early 30s, looking at Nvidia and thinking it's too expensive, and considering Qualcomm as your AI exposure, Here is what you need to internalize. Qualcomm is not a substitute for Nvidia. They are not the same trade. Nvidia is a bet on training the world's AI models. Qualcomm is a bet on running those AI models on every device you touch. Both can be right. Both can win. But they will not move together. And they should not be in your portfolio for the same reason. If you believe AI will live in the cloud forever, buy Nvidia. If you believe AI is moving onto your phone, your car, your laptop, and your glasses, then Qualcomm is one of the cleanest, cheapest ways to express that view. That is the entire thesis in one sentence. Take a careful look at the names and numbers I shared today. Do your own research, and wishing you all successful investing. If this kind of breakdown was helpful, please hit subscribe and like so I can keep bringing you better investment content. As always, all investment decisions are your own responsibility.